Okay, Gary. Are you?
Yeah.
All right.
Today is June 22nd. That way, if you're looking for it, it's at the beginning. But today is June 22nd. Does anybody have anything they want to share or talk about, or bring up? Anything positive or even negative?
Yeah, I have a question about something I received.
Okay, good deal. Why don't you tell us what it is?
I emailed it to you about a week ago, and we kind of emailed a little bit, but it was a motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction and to impose a penalty under IRC 663.
Okay, that's good. You're a lucky dog. That's all I can tell you. Do you understand what they're saying? Yeah, think about it. Do you understand what they're saying?
Yeah, that was my part of my email to you. I was like, is this the good kind of motion to dismiss? But then, they have that penalty talk also, right. So I don't feel so lucky on that part.
Well, why not? Tell me what it says. They're dismissing it for lack of jurisdiction. Okay, so then we're going to give you ice cream and candy. They don't have jurisdiction. How can they do you understand? We always think that they're telling the truth. We always think that they wouldn't lie. Does that make sense?
Right. Well, I get the lack of jurisdiction. That's what we want.
That's right, but that's okay. That's okay. But it's okay. What state do you live in, if you don't mind me asking?
What state do I live in? California.
Okay, so we're going to dismiss your case for lack of jurisdiction because Texas is going to put a penalty on you. Tell me what that does to you.
Absolutely nothing. Might as well have said Russia.
Okay, see, that's what they're saying. This is being dismissed for lack of jurisdiction. We're going to go ahead and if you're reading what they're saying, and we're going to go ahead and put a penalty on you. So what you're going to do is you're going to put it in there and you're going to tell them, if you don't have jurisdiction, then how can you put a penalty on me? See, and then just reiterate, if you don't have jurisdiction on the grounds, I never received a statutory notice of deficiency or statutory notice of determination. Just answer it. See, and let them know. And then go on and let's see what they say. What they're doing is, you got to understand, we're killing them with this, and they're trying to find a way around it, and they haven't been able to yet.
Well, it's a mix of things in mind because this I've gone to a tax court before, and they had issued notices of determination for, looks like 4 years. And then, so they're saying I got it, but they like to drop the word statutory. Because I use the word statutory, I'm looking for a statutory notice of determination.
Okay, so you go back and you tell them, you haven't received a statutory notice of deficiency or statutory notice, and just don't tell them why. But if you're in front of your computer, are you there?
Yeah, I can pull up a browser.
Okay, if you would, put in Title 26, Section 6065. And I want you to read it, and I'm going to stop you along the way so let's see what they're saying, and then you're going to understand it. I know you probably know, but not everybody out here knows what it says. So if you would,
I actually mentioned this to you before because I was on the call previously about this case, and I mentioned this. But the problem you said is when you bring this up, they say no, it doesn't apply to us. It only applies to taxpayers.
Right. No, I'm looking for the case that tells them that it does. I just haven't found it yet. We moved.
Yeah, you said before it was a Supreme Court case.
Right. Yes, and I moved, and my grandkids were here, and I just haven't had a chance to really look for it. But I'll do my best to find it. I want you to read it, but I want you to read it so we can stop and talk about it. Go ahead and start reading it.
Okay. The title is Verification of Returns. Okay. And then the body of it says, except as otherwise provided by the Secretary, any return, declaration, statement, or other document.
Stop right there.
Required to. That's my pause.
Okay, stop.
Other document.
Stop right there now. Okay, other document. Now, is it possible that on a notice of deficiency, read those 4 things again, if you will, and then stop.
The four things: return, declaration, statement, or other document.
Is it possible that a statutory or a notice of deficiency is one of those four? Is that possible?
Yes. In my case, it's a determination.
Okay. And is it possible that a determination is one of those four items?
Yes. I would say it's a statement. Certainly other documents.
I don't care what. It doesn't matter, but it is one of those, correct?
I would say so, unless they have one of their goofy definitions.
Okay. So now finish reading what it says, if you will.
So, are there other documents required to be made under any provision of the Internal Revenue laws or regulations?
Stop. Hold on right there now. So, would a notice of deficiency or a notice of determination fall under Title 26? Well, of course it does. So now,
yeah, they probably issued it under one of those sections.
Okay, so they had to, because I'll give you the sections when we're finished here. Now, finish reading what it says.
Yeah, here's the good part. Shall contain or be verified by a written declaration that is made under the penalties of perjury.
Now, what are the odds of that happening?
Well, they're not going to do it. That's their trick.
Zero.
They will not swear to it.
Okay, so what we have then is a statute. It's not statutory. Why? Because that's left off of it. I don't care why
right.
they left there. Okay, so the statement that says I never received a statutory notice of deficiency or a statutory notice of determination is 100% accurate.
Right, and they always drop that statutory word in this.
Ain't that something?
Motion.
Okay, so then you just go back and then do another motion. Say this is my motion to dismiss the motion for what is it?
Motion to dismiss their motion.
There you go, something like that. Okay, and then just put in there. This motion is to dismiss their motion, and quote what their motion is on the grounds. Petitioner has never received a statutory notice of deficiency, has never received a statutory notice of determination for years 2000 to 2020, and then send it back. We just got to keep their feet to the fire, that's all.
So even though they attach these notice of determination, I just say that anyway because it's not statutory.
Okay, hold on a minute now. I drive an F-150. I have a dent in the hood. I called the junkyard and said, I need a red hood for a pickup. He said, I got 60 of them. I bought 3 of them, brought them home, and none of them fit. Why?
The wrong model, not a match.
Not wrong model, wrong year, wrong. That's right. So I asked for a hood. He said he had one. Well, an idiot. He says he's an idiot. I didn't. See, you got a hood, but you didn't get the F-150 for the right year. So statutory means it meets the statutes. It doesn't meet the statutes. Why? 60, 65. Now, let them come back. Now what we're doing, they're going to come back to, well, see, that doesn't pertain to us. Again, we want a motion to dismiss on the grounds. We can't find, then tell us finding of facts and conclusions of law. We have to call them on what they're saying. Now, let me ask you a question. My wife cooks better than your wife. How are you going to defend that?
I didn't hear the question at the end.
My wife cooks better than your wife. Now defend that.
Well, what evidence do you have that your wife cooks better than my wife?
See, well, because I know how good my wife cooks. See how stupid that is? See how stupid that is? Well, I know how good mine cooks. That's all they're saying. So you got to go back and say, well, clarify that. What proof do you have? See? Well, my wife can cook a hamburger. Well, mine can grill one. Well, mine can cook it in the oven. Now, that's just semantics now. So what we have to do is call them on it. Judge, you said this. See? But yet, they admitted, see, how is, whatever that is, you said that the 4 years that they sent the notice of deficiency does not meet the statutes. Therefore, see, We want it changed. All we have to do is call them.
I'll say it like that. Yeah.
See, and then put it back in. They'll answer you again. That will strengthen your. Then he'll come back and say, "Well, you didn't stand on one leg. Where does it say I have to stand on one? Well, you got to stand on your right leg. Where does it say?" See, what we have to do is we have to force them. We have to force them to follow the law. That's what I like about the statutes. The statutes tell us what they have to have. See, common law is better, but we're not using common law, so let's use the statutes to our benefit.
Okay.
Does that make any sense? Does that make sense for you now?
Yeah, it just seems that they want to ignore the statutes when it's convenient, like the 6065.
Absolutely. That's right. See? So you don't have to put 6065 in there. All you have to do is say, I never received the statutory norms according to the statutes, according to now the statute that you want to quote them is 6212 and 6213A. That's where and see, chances are it didn't come certified or registered because it costs money. They're not going to spend any. So chances are so they violated that statute. So what you want to tell them is, I never received a statutory notice of deficiency, a statutory notice of determination on the grounds of 6212 and 6213A, and then send it back in. Let them come back and say, well, that don't count. See, we have to just push them off the ledge. We just have to push them off the cliff. That's all.
I looked at those statutes before. It didn't really mention notice of determination. It's really talking about the deficiency. So in my case, it's about determination, so I don't know if that would necessarily apply.
All right. Let's go to 6212. Go to Title 26, 6212, and let's read what it says.
Okay.
And this will help you understand what they're saying.
Okay, I'm there.
Well, let's read it.
Okay, so title notice of deficiency, and A in general. If the Secretary determines that there is a deficiency in respect of any tax imposed by subtitles A or B of Chapter 41, 42, 43, or 44, he is authorized to send notice of such deficiency to the taxpayer by certified mail or registered mail.
Okay.
Such notice shall include.
Okay. Go ahead. This notice shall include.
Such notice shall include a notice to the taxpayer of the taxpayer's right to contact a local office of the taxpayer advocate and the location and phone number of the appropriate office.
Okay, that's not familiar. Now let's read 6213.
Okay. 13. Okay, and then you said A previously, right?
Yeah, A.
So
that's what they're going to say. Go ahead.
So the title is Restrictions Applicable to Deficiencies, petition to tax court. And A is titled Time for Filing Petition and Restriction on its Assessment. Okay. Within 90 days or 150 days, if the notice is addressed to a person outside the United States, that's interesting. After the notice of deficiency authorized in Section 6212, that's what we just read, is mailed, not counting Saturday, Sunday, or a legal holiday in the District of Columbia as the last day, the taxpayer may file a petition with the tax court for a redetermination of the deficiency.
Wow, they're both there, aren't they?
They're both there.
When? Okay, go back a little bit. Read it again. Just a little. Just go back.
Or it says redetermination.
There you go. A determination. Never received a determination. Never received a deficiency. There they are. They're telling you. In other words, what's the difference? A determination tells you why you're deficient. In other words, you owe me $400. Why? I'm not going to tell you. They have to tell you why. There's the determination. The deficiency is you're short $400. Why? Because you didn't file a 1040. See, now when does the 90 days start?
Let's see.
You just read it.
Not sure. I just read it, yeah.
Read it.
In 90 days, or if the notice is addressed to the person. I don't know if I read it. Does it say when it starts?
Absolutely, absolutely. Start over. Read A again. It's real short. It's not that long. Go ahead and let's read A again.
Within 90 days. Within 90 days or 150 days.
Or when. Keep reading.
150 days. If the notice is addressed to a person outside the United States, after the notice of deficiency is authorized in Section 6212 is mailed. So is it the date of mailing?
Well, wait, okay, but if you never received it, wouldn't that make they never mailed it? The IRS
never started.
loses not. There you go. Because on the other one, it said it has to be mailed, certified, or registered. Well, we mailed it. Well, then let me see the registry. Let me see the certified mail. They don't have it. That means it's never been mailed. So, when does your 90 days start? Your 90 days never started. Why? You never received it. Why? They never mailed it. Why? There's no... See, those are your two sections right there. Now, let me ask you the question. What is a notice of deficiency? What's another name for it? Give me another name for it, so I'm going to show you how powerful this is. Okay, give me another name.
Claim or an assessment.
Okay, an assessment. Now, another name for an assessment, I'm a contractor, so I'm going to do your bathroom for $10,000. That's the estimate. That's the notice of deficiency. The notice of determination, that's the estimate. The notice of determination is the invoice. When I'm done with it, I want to get paid. Here's the invoice. So the one is the estimate. We're going to estimate that you didn't do something. They got to tell you. Now, if you didn't receive it, now, here's my question. Okay, I want to know, when are you going to send me the $10,000 for your bathroom remodel? When are you going to give me my $10,000?
And you show me a contract and you do the work.
Ain't that something? Well, if you don't give it to me, I won't take your house. See the problem they have? They can't give it to you because they're coming after you. And if you look at what they're doing, if you'll get a parallel table of authorities, they're coming after you under for 7203, willful failure to file. Willful failure to file is Title 27. They're going to say willful failure to file a 1040. Well, if that's the case, then a 1040 has to be a Title 27. Why? Well, because if you have go ahead.
When you emailed me back, you sent me the parallel table of authorities, and then I started looking at sections, and I replied to you that there's nothing backing it. So he basically said, so they're lying. So I don't know how to use that, but I saw some court cases where they just didn't give a crap about it.
I understand that, but that's okay. That's their cases. See? Now, let me ask you this question. You walk into your house and your wife's cheating on you, would you recognize it?
Most likely.
Okay, good. Most likely. What would she be doing?
Playing cards wrong, possibly, or checkers, or who knows. This could be any number of things.
Okay, do you play bridge?
Bridge? No.
Okay, then how do you know she's cheating? You don't even know how to play the game. See,
That's right. That's why I said most likely.
See? I didn't say most likely. I said, would you recognize it? You said most likely. Okay, but what was she? See, that's what they're doing to us. We're so focused on it's the IRS. So what? What are they saying? They're saying we don't have jurisdiction, but we're gonna sock it to you. Please do. You're saying you're gonna give me a $35,000 penalty. Tell you what, chicken shit, give me a $70,000 one. Yeah, got jurisdiction. Make it $100,000. I don't care. Why? They don't have jurisdiction. They already told you they didn't have it. This case is dismissed for lack of jurisdiction, and we're going to go ahead and use Title 26, Section whatever, to give them a penalty. How can they do that if they don't have jurisdiction? See, that's how I see it. Then go back and tell them, Judge, are you going to let them lie to you in this court? They don't have jurisdiction by their own testimony. Now they're asking you to put sanctions or a penalty on me. The reason they don't have jurisdiction is they admitted they didn't have it. They never gave me a notice of deficiency or notice of determination for years, whatever. Therefore, they don't have jurisdiction. Therefore, this court must rule that since I didn't receive a statutory notice of determination or statutory notice of deficiency for years 2000 to 2020, whatever years you're using, then see? What difference
now
does
you mentioned
it make?
Now you mentioned the certified mail. So they did send certified mail, but I think your point is that it was never statutory, so it's like a nullity.
That's right. Okay. Did you get it certified mail?
Yeah, when they attached the notice of determination, and then it had the receipt, the certified mail receipt.
Okay. Now on the notice of deficiency, was the certified number on the letter?
Well, let me pull it up here. Like handwritten or something, or?
Ain't that something?
Oh, I see. It's like pointing to it.
See?
Sometimes I see it written on the top. I'm looking now.
I understand that. See, what I'm trying to tell you
is...
Not there. Oh, wow. Ain't that something? When a liar lies, is it a lie?
Oh, geez. Now I'm looking at this certified mail receipt even closer. There's no stamp on it.
See, that's the point I'm trying to make. What they're doing is, have you ever heard of CYA?
Yes.
Okay, they're CYA-ing themselves. What they're trying to do is they're trying their best to get the judge to dismiss the case because they sent you something and you didn't answer them, and they want their thumb up here, ask about yours up there. They want us to jump up and see. It doesn't matter. I've been doing this since 1988. I have never seen a statutory notice of deficiency or a statutory notice of determination yet. I've never seen one.
Wow.
I've done close to 10,000 of them. Not me personally, but I've been involved in about 10,000 of them. What? I guess I'm the only one that hasn't seen one. I guess I'm just naive. I guess I'm just an idiot. What I'm trying to tell you is, why do we have this problem? Because they're liars. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard of three-card Monte? Do you know what three-card Monte is?
I've heard of it, yes.
Okay, there's a magician there. He'll show you 2 black cards and a red card. He'll flip over and he'll twist them. Show me the red card. You turn it over, it's black. Why is it you watch it, you know where it is when you flip it over? Why is it always black? You cannot win. Why?
Well, he's doing some trickery, hands quicker than the eye kind of stuff.
Ain't that something? So he's palming the red card. See? So he palms the red card and replaces it with the black card. He's so good at it, it's seamless. So every time you turn it over, there's all 3 black. Well, I went to one of these circus things, and he says, "Come on over here." I said, "No, thank you." "You go put up $20 if you want. I'll give you $100. I said, "No, thank you." "What's wrong? You afraid?" I said, "Okay." So he does it. I put my hand on the 2 outside ones, and I flipped them over. I said, "That's black and that's black. If that's not red, you cheated." He said, "Here's your $100. Get your ass out of here." I said, "Okay, thank you." So that's just the way I am. I can't help myself. I'm not going to turn over one. I put my hands on the 2 outside ones. I turn them both over. That's black, that's black. That is red, right? If it's not, you cheated. Yeah, that's red. No problem. You won. So I ruined this scam. Well, that's what they're doing here. They're playing 3-card Monte. They said, well, we're going to put oh, God, now what am I going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to face them and say, "You liar." See? Now, I want you to think about this. Some woman knocks on your door and says, "My daughter's pregnant. You're the father. We want $3,000 a month. What are you going to do?" "Okay, here's $3 grand. You're going to pay her every month."
Right.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Prove it. So prove it.
Well, I don't have to. I said it, so it's good enough. That's what they're doing. See? What I'm going to say is,
right.
I'll tell you what I'm going to give. I'm going to give you $6,000 a month. Let's go get a DNA test. This is the DNA test. See? They're telling you one thing. Then they're doing the 3-card Monte, switching the cards. They're saying something else. The judge is saying, "Well, then they said it. It must be so." we'd have to prove it wrong. That's all. Does that make sense for you?
Yes. And on part of their discussion of the penalty, they're saying that I'm knowingly asking for something I already have, which is the notice of determinations that already sent, because I went to court using that. So that's kind of, they're saying, like almost like I acknowledge they exist, but here I am asking for it like it's frivolous.
Okay, now wait a minute. If you gave it to me, show it to me. I didn't get it. Now I'm going to ask you one more question. What color is a red shirt?
What was the question?
What color is a red shirt?
To whom?
See how simple that is? So that's what we're doing here. If you gave it to me, show me. Because if you say red,
I did.
There you go. And that's what we're doing here. Wow,
that's what you said last time.
Uh-huh.
And so I put in a thing to the court asking for it.
Okay, that's
fine.
I
guess the response.
Okay, then if this is their new response, go back and say, Your Honor, I'm confused. I don't understand. They're saying Jack and they're sending me Jill. What's going on? You're the judge. See? Then see, we're building a case. You're building a case all the time, building a case. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You need 41 bites to win the case outright. We get you 36 bites. Boy, they got an uphill battle. They might still win because you don't have 41, but it's a lot easier to go to court with 36 bites on your side than it is with 0. See, and that's what you're doing here. You're just going to keep building the case. Just keep asking for more. See, until the judge decides, you know what? Because, see, we're bringing the judge in, too. When you bring the judge in, I'm going to tell you what we're doing that's a little bit different with what we're doing, not in this. But you said bringing the judge in, he's going to be held liable. So what we're doing is we're doing a bar grievance. We're starting to do bar grievances.
Oh, wow.
On judges and on attorneys. And it ain't pretty, not for them. Because, see, if a judge gets 3 bar grievances, they have to look at him. He gets 5, and he's off the bench.
Well, we're not.
We're not okay, well, we're not doing this. What we're doing is we're saying, okay, see, do you know what a judge is? He's a referee. If a guy's playing baseball and the umpire, he's out by a mile, safe, that team will never win, no matter what. He gets 5 strikes today. They'll never win. The game has to be played equal. So, what is a judge? He's a referee. You tell him that. Your Honor, they haven't showed you nothing. As the judge, /referee, see, it makes no sense. See? Then after you get enough stuff in there, then go file a bar grievance. Go to the court. They have a form for it. You may have to look for it, but they have a bar grievance. File a bar grievance against the judge on the grounds he's legislating from the bench. See? They can't legislate from the bench. That's Congress's job. See? Now you've got 6 or 7 things. You put them in there. Here's my proof. See? The court can only hear 2 things, facts and evidence. It's a fact. I wrote a letter. Here's the evidence, and the judge ruled the wrong way. I want a bar grievance filed. They're going to take it up with him, and in your case, you should win your case. Again, I'm not telling you what to do. I don't give legal advice. I'm telling you what I'm doing. Okay? So, in your case, you're almost there. You know, you're almost there.
Good.
I appreciate you coming in, and I thank you for asking the question, and thank you for letting me beat you up. I'm not beating you up.
I appreciate it more. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming in and doing that. Thank you. Does anyone else have a question about what we talked with him, or on your own situation?
Mr. Carey.
No, sir. Yes, go ahead.
So I got my paperwork from the commissioner, the Internal Revenue response, and it's the order of dismissal. Can I read it to you?
No, you cannot. I can read myself. No, go ahead.
Okay.
Please do. No, you can leave your name out of it. You can leave your name out of it, and where it says petitioner, say petitioner. Where it says respondent, say Commissioner of the Internal Revenue Service. That way, we can follow it better. Go ahead.
Okay, petitioner, Commissioner of Internal versus Commissioner Internal Revenue Respondent. Order of dismissal. Because a fair reading of the petition shows that nothing it contains give rise to a judiciable issue, it is ordered that the case is dismissed for failure to state a claim upon which relief can be granted.
Okay, now you're very lucky to get that, and let me explain to you why. Are you in front of a computer? Are you in front of a computer?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm at work.
Yeah. That's okay. That's okay. I'm going to explain it to you. The guy that was just on here with me, would you look something up for me, please? Would you look up, or anybody look up, Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, Rule 12B, as in boy, the number 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you read that?
Yeah, it's the thing. So I got the same type of response from Tax Court, by the way.
All right, that's okay.
I went down that road and nothing really happened. But I want to find this.
That's great. I'm going to show you how to answer it.
That's right. Okay.
Now, I'm going to show you how to answer that, and we're going to see what it says.
It says Rule 12B6.
How to present.
Yes.
How to present defenses. This is B. Every defense to a claim for relief.
Stop right there. Hold on. Stop. That is not 12B6. I don't care about anything else.
I have it.
We're reading 12. Okay, go ahead and read 12B6.
Oh, I was starting on B. Okay.
It's permitting a motion to dismiss for failure of the complaint to state a claim on which relief can be granted. Okay,
that's okay. So 12B6 says stating a claim that relief can't be granted. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to go back and say, thank you, Your Honor. You're exactly right. There's been no claim which relief can be granted. See, in other words, now I want you to think about this. Stating a claim that relief can't be granted. You owe me $142,512. What was that? That's a claim. If there's not been a claim, you're going to go back and you're going to say, I agree with the judge by the respondent's own testimony. They're stating a claim that relief can't be granted. I never received the notice of deficiency. I never received the notice of determination. Parentheses, the claim. They're telling you they never gave you the claim. So, because I never received the claim, this must be dismissed for lack of jurisdiction on the grounds. I never received a statutory notice of deficiency, and that's statutory notice of determination. See, what we're going to do is we're going to turn it around on them. They're telling you they want us to go away. We ain't going away. So, we've had the same thing, and then they come back and they say, well, you owe $125,000. How in the world can you owe $125,000 when there's never been a claim? That's a claim. They just made a claim without a claim.
Right.
So I'm going to go back. Okay, you owe me $10,000 for the bathroom. What did you do in it? What difference does it make? Makes all the difference. See, what they're saying is we got to understand what they're saying instead of trying to say, oh my God, I got beat up again. Don't worry about it. Go back, make your motion look like theirs, and go in there and say, Your Honor, by the respondents, then parentheses, Commissioner of the Internal Revenue Service's own testimony. They never gave me a notice of deficiency, notice of determination, parentheses, a claim. Therefore, this case must be dismissed for lack of jurisdiction on the grounds. I never received a statutory notice of deficiency, a statutory notice of determination for years 2000 to 2020, and send it back. Let's see what he's going to say. See, now, judges are corrupt, yes, but you see how we're letting them be corrupt? They made a statement. We're going to stand there with our thumb up our ass saying, God dang, they're corrupt. Look what they said. Doggone it. I hate them people. They're no good. They're telling you they're giving you what you want. We just don't know how to read it. That's the way I see it. I'm not giving legal advice. I don't care if you do it or not. But in my opinion, if you do that, we're able to save these and turn them back around and get an even stronger thing. Because the judge does not want, if the judge comes back and says, we're not going to hear it. Now we can appeal it on the grounds. The judge admitted, here's what he admitted, see Exhibit A. Then we can tell the appellate court, we need this dismissed, sent back down, or overturned on the grounds. They admitted it, then they wouldn't give it to us. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah.
See? So what we have to do is we have to quit worrying about the liars. They're lying. They're nothing but bald-faced liars. So when you know how you know if a judge is lying? Do you know how you know?
How?
His lips are moving.
He's talking.
Okay, there you go. See, either way, it doesn't matter. The point being, you haven't lost it yet. In your case, we're going to have to go and run at him one more time.
Okay.
So it's all good. So far, it's all good, in my opinion.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. Does anybody else have a question?
They want to negotiate with me. They want to settle. That's what they're wanting to.
You're lucky. That's a good thing.
How do we settle?
Okay. Now, here's my question. Okay, I have to know. Okay, how do you settle? Well, you build them, make them a cherry pie and mail it to them. Well, let me try to explain it to you. Okay, no. Okay, you have paper that says they want you to settle. All right, what are they charging you with?
They're actually asking me for income. What exactly did me? Actually, they brought my ex-husband. Seemed to be my ex-husband on the case.
That's okay.
They have him and me put together when before they just had me on there. See how?
That's okay.
See how? Okay.
Hold
on
now. You're giving me. See, I call that TMI. None of that matters to me. And please don't take that the wrong way. What are they charging with? In other words, they want you to settle. What do they want you to settle?
Exactly.
They want you to.
I don't know.
They want you to okay. Then let's settle. Take your husband back. Let him quit. Let him watch TV, drink beer, and you go back to work. How's that? That's a settlement.
No.
No. See, so first of all, you have to find out. They want you to settle. What do they want you to settle? They're going to tell you, well, we want you to settle. You owe us $350,000. Well, have you been to the tax court yet?
No. This is also mail. They actually referred me to Ogden, which is my area, because they have Ogden. And what's the other area? Something over there in. Anyhow.
Okay, now back up now. Okay.
There's no lawyer involved. There's just an agent, an IRS agent.
Okay, an IRS agent. They're telling you to settle. Tell them I'll be glad to settle. $350,000. Here's how you spell my name. Send it to me. I'm settled. I'm happy.
$350 US. Do I tell them?
I don't. What difference does it make? You tell them. Make the check payable to me. $350,000. I'll take it. We're settled. I'm happy. You happy? See, what you're telling me is they want you to settle, okay? Then what you need to do is tell them you'll take $350,000. You want $500,000? Now's your chance to get it. Tell them I'll take $500,000. I'm settled. What do you want? You have to understand something. They want you to say, okay, let's settle. Okay, now you've got the hook in you. Now, how are you going to shake it loose? Now, I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm going to ask you this. It's going to be a little bit bad. You're not going to want to answer it. Now, do you know what a masturbator is?
No, I don't.
What is it? Don't lie to me now. Okay, don't lie to me.
I've never seen one. I've never.
Okay, when you go fishing, you put your trout line in. You put your trout line in. It goes down the river 20 feet. and it's got hooks on it. It's got bait on it. You pull the fish, you pull it out. The guy behind it takes the fish off, puts a new piece of bait, throws it in the water. When he gets real efficient, he can pull the bait off and put it back out, throw it in the water real fast. Tell me what does he become?
Tell me what does he what? What does what?
What do you call him? A man that can bait the hook and throw it back in the water real fast. What do you call him?
I don't know. I don't like fishing.
A master baiter. He becomes a master. See, now the story's changed. See, that's what we have to do to them. We have to make them define. They want you to settle. Oh, okay. What do they want you to do? Have their children? Give your children up.
Yeah.
That's a good, hey, now's the time to get rid of the kids you didn't like. See? What I'm trying to tell you is because they're going to give you a figure and they're going to tell you what statute that you have to do it for. I guarantee you 100% when they tell you you got to do it for 7701B1.2563J. That's Title 27. You want me to settle for Title 27? Be glad to. I want $500,000. Make the check payable to me and make sure it's signed. See? In other words, you have to know what you're settling for. Are you willing to settle? Absolutely. First of all, what am I settling for? And what statute am I settling against? They're going to tell you when they tell you. I've never seen it not happen. 100% of the time, they're going to ask you to pay them something, and it's going to come out of Title 27. Do you know the significance of that?
Title 27 is pretty much
no, it's not pretty
their
much.
law. It's their statute. It's their statute.
No. It's alcohol, tobacco, and firearms.
Oh, that's
Nothing
right.
else.
That's right. But I'm not a company, though. I'm not a corporation.
Duh! So you're going to settle. How are you going to settle? I'm ready to settle. What am I settling? How much? And what statute am I settling for? They're going to tell you. There's Title 27. Now, guess what? When you do a counter suit, you're going to be able to bring that agent in the thing and say, did you know this? No. Then why would you charge me for something I don't do? See how simple that becomes?
Yes.
So we got to quit worrying about it. We got to get them to commit. Now, I'm going to ask you a question, okay? Do you have any kids? Okay, let me speak a little slower. Do you have any kids?
Hello? Kids?
Hello?
Okay. I have,
okay.
Well, I have...
You see, I didn't ask that. See, you're going to give me too much information. I'm going to gather it, and I'm running at you when I do. You're done. Do you have any kids?
Oh, God. My answer. Define kids.
See how simple that was? They're nanny goats. They come the Billy or the nanny. They're goats. Goat babies are kids. See how simple that is? That's what we're doing here. You want me to settle? Yes, I'm glad to settle. But what am I settling? How much? And what statute am I settling for? They will tell you. Oh, so that's Title 27. Son of a gun, you think I do 27. You're mistaken. Sorry. What proof do you have that I'm in Title 27? Shut up. Well, it ain't got nothing to do with 27. Then why'd you ask me for it? Now you got them on the run. See, we have to argue the argument that they're giving us that we can win. Does that make sense?
Of course. And it also proves that they're not doing their job.
Yeah. See how simple that becomes? Now you're all upset now. Okay. Now, are you in front of a computer?
Yeah, I can. Yes.
Okay. I want you to look something up for me. I'm going to have you read it, and then I'm going to ask you questions, and then I'm going to show you what they're doing to us. Okay. I want you to look up Title 1, Section 1. While you're doing that, we're going to ask another question. Then you come back and say, "I got it," and we'll address it. Does anybody else have a question? Did I answer that question at all for you?
Yes, pretty much so.
I have a question.
Thank you.
Sure. No, my pleasure. Go ahead. What's your question?
Yeah, I have a quick question on transportation. I was listening to one of your audios on You Have the Right, a show on the internet, and you said something about the transportation code. When you were in front of the judge, you challenged jurisdiction, and the judge just went forward and said, I have jurisdiction. But then you said, but we're proceeding under the transportation code, and the judge said yes, and you said he realized he screwed up. What was it about the transportation code at the beginning? You said there were. Go ahead.
Every time I walk into the court and they call me up, the first question out of my mouth is, does this court have jurisdiction? 100% of the time they say yes. I say, can I see it? 100% of the time they say no. Okay, I got a ticket. It's a transportation ticket. So this is a transportation code court. And I just shut up and watched the fun. The judge has to respond. If he doesn't respond, then I say, oh, since I got a transportation code ticket and this is not a transportation code court, how did you get jurisdiction? So he'll always say, well, yes, wonderful. In the state of Texas, 541 is the transportation code. So Title 541 is the transportation code. Under Section .201 is, let me read it to you. Transportation code is for commercial use only. Now we're on the right page. We know where we're going. What are they going to say? They have to prove that my F-150 is in transportation. In commercial, because commercial is defined. Guess what? It's on my glossary page. Here's what a commercial is. It tells you what commercial is. So I don't care what they say. See, it's just like I asked that lady, or whoever. Let me ask you this. If you walk in your house at an odd hour, you come home early in the morning and your wife's cheating on you, would you recognize it?
What kind of cheating?
See how simple that is? Because if you had said no, I'd say, wow, where do you live? Then I'll come over there and take advantage of it. Well, what was you? See, in other words, there's no way to answer it unless you do what you just did. Well, what would cheating be? Well, how would I know? Then how would I know? See, I'm not going to commit to anything until I know what they're saying. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah. What did you say the transportation code for Texas was? 542?
541.
541.
Yeah, Ed may know it better than me. I'm doing it from memory. If I'm wrong, Ed, come in and say it. But you can go in there and say transportation code of Texas. It'll come out 541. Now, in there, it's going to say vehicle. It's going to define it. It's going to say all kinds of stuff. Put in street signs, commercial use only, stop signs, red lights. All that's for commercial use only. So they're telling me they're a transportation code court. Yep. I got a transportation code ticket. So it has to be 541. It has to. If it's not, then he's a liar. See, I'm going to tell him so. Well, then I object to your lying, bud. So, in other words, this is a court of lying. Guess what? I'm a 48-year-old Negro woman. I'm a 31-year-old Chinese man. See, you wouldn't believe the crap that I do in there, see? Well, shut up and sit down. Oh, I am sitting down. Well, you're sitting up. No, I'm not. This is sitting down because we get to lie here today. See, it just becomes a frickin' zoo. I use what they say against them on everything I do. I hope that made sense.
Yeah, it does. And I noticed in 541 that they proceed under common law also. Ain't
that something? It doesn't make any difference. See, it doesn't make any difference. And you could say, since this is 541, is this the common law half or is this the statutory half? Either way, they lose. It doesn't matter. See? Then if I lose, the judge says, sit down, you got to pay the $350 fine. Not a problem. I then I made a form up that I hand to the judge. I'm going to pay it on the way out. Check the box so I can pay it on the way out. See, now I challenge what species. So they got when I'm in court on a traffic ticket, they got their hands full. I'll tell you that right now. Their hands are full. Their hands are full. See, I'm not going to stand there and go. Go ahead.
You give the judge the 1020 form?
Absolutely. Here, fill this bad boy out. It says right here that I'm guilty. I owe you because I already know what they already tell you what it is. It's $355. They already tell you that $355. So I get it made out. I blank, put my name there. Judge so and so. You already know the judge. If you don't put judge blank, write it in. Said that I'm guilty of the charge on the ticket. It's going to say 541 point whatever. I have to pay the fine up $350. What? Then I go in there and I say, what species does this represent? Then I go to Title 18, Section 8, and write them all down right across there. Check the box, sign it under penalty of perjury, so I can pay for it on the way out. If he does it, then I file a bar grievance. Absolutely, I file a bar grievance because I'm trying to pay this bad boy, and he won't tell me. He won't let me. See? I want to pay this in the worst way. Will you let me? Yeah, great. Sign that thing there and check the box because I'm an idiot. I'm stupid. And the judge says, you're not that stupid. Thank you, Your Honor. I'm stupider than that. See? I tell the judge all the time, when I was in the 7th grade, I rode the short bus. That's what you're up against. See, it doesn't matter to me what they say. I don't care. See, but there's 3 or 4 courts over here. When I show up, the judge calls me up and says, I hate to ruin your day. I said, all right, go ahead and ruin it. He says, but your case is dismissed. The cop didn't show. And they're sitting right there. I said, okay, you got any proof? Yeah, here. And he hands it to me. They're not going to even let me in. It's only because, see, jurisdiction isn't everything. It's the only thing, in my opinion. See, I played basketball. Go ahead.
And they won't let you in because you're dangerous. You can hurt them.
Right. See, they're not letting me in. See, when I was in school, I played basketball, and the coach would say, tonight, winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. And that's how I believe. Winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. So, what do I have to do to win? I don't care. I just don't do things traditional. That's all. I'm not going to go in there and say, well, I'm a fat, old, gray-haired, bald-headed, no-haired, big-bearded, blood running in my veins, slobber. See, I don't care. I don't care what I am. The law says it don't matter. What the law says is, I asked you, does this court have jurisdiction? Yes. Wonderful. I got a traffic ticket. Does that make this is a traffic code court? No. Okay, then I'm in the wrong court. You don't have jurisdiction. I make a motion right now to dismiss this case because it's in the wrong court, and the judge is too stupid to know it. And then I'm done. See, it doesn't. Think about this a minute. If he's going to tell me no, then I'm in the wrong court. He knows he can't beat me on that one. I mean, any judge knows that. So, see, I always ask him up front. Now, let me ask you a question. How do you give the court jurisdiction?
By appearing.
All right. Now that you said that, all right. You get a ticket in Texas for speeding. You go to Boston. Okay, you go to Boston. Go to the court in Boston and appear in Boston and go in there. How does that court get jurisdiction? You showed up, so you got to pay Boston? That makes no sense to me. I'm confused. Explain to me how by showing up gives them jurisdiction.
Yeah, they can't get jurisdiction.
All right, so you got to understand that when you go in. See, there's 2 kinds of jurisdiction: in rem and in personam. In rem is subject matter. They probably got that, but in personam, because of the Bill of Rights, we have inalienable rights, unalienable. What are they trying to do when they give you a speeding ticket? They're trying to lien your rights. They can't. They can't. And because I know that, that's what makes me the way I am. I can't help myself. Okay?
Got it. Okay.
Thank you for the question. Does the lady that looked up Title 1, Section 1, are you back with me?
Thanks, Kerry.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Believe me, it's my pleasure.
I'm right here. Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you a question, okay? It's going to be personal. Do you mind?
Go ahead. I'll tell you later.
All right. And this is not a reflection on anybody, so don't take it that way. If you get married, or if you are married, are you married to a woman? Would you marry a male or a female if you were going to get married? Or if you are married, would you marry a male or a female? Okay, let me make it simpler. Are you? No, it's an easy question. Would you marry a male or a female? That's what I'm asking.
A male, definitely.
Okay, now that's all right. Now wait, all right. Now read Title 1, Section 1 for me, please.
So it says words denoting number, gender, and so forth. So in determining the meaning of any act of Congress, unless the context indicates otherwise,
stop right there. Hold on. Who wrote the Transportation Code? The legislature, Congress. That's Congress. So any act of Congress, unless they tell you otherwise. Now read the second line, please.
Turn it down. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Read the second line.
Okay. Words importing the singular include and apply to several persons, parties, or things.
What does singular mean?
Just one.
All right. Unless we tell you otherwise, read that again for me, please.
Unless we tell you otherwise, indicate otherwise. Okay.
Now, what does read the next one. Next line.
Words importing the singular include and apply to several persons, parties, or things.
Stop.
Words
hold on. What does singular mean?
It means several persons, parties, or things.
Oh, you didn't say that, so you didn't know before. Now read the next one. Read the next line.
Words importing the plural include the singular.
What does plural mean?
Words importing the masculine gender.
Hold on. What does the word plural mean?
It means words importing the masculine.
No, okay, you're not paying attention. Go back a line. It says the words importing the plural mean. Tell me what it means.
Include the singular.
Okay, what does plural mean? What does plural mean?
It means persons, parties, or things.
Nope, that's singular. No. So what does plural mean? It means singular.
It's singular. That's right.
All right, now, there you go. Now read the next one. This is important. Read the next one.
Words importing the masculine gender include the feminine as well.
So, you admitted to everybody on the phone tonight that you're homosexual because you said you would marry a man, no doubt, a masculine, no doubt about it. What does masculine mean?
Include feminine as well.
So, I can, without me, unless I tell you otherwise, you admitted tonight on the phone in front of everybody that you love women. Did you not? See the problem we have? We don't understand what they're saying. We think they're saying something else. Do you understand? Do you understand what our problem is? The problem is not that the judges are corrupt. Believe me, they're corrupt. The problem is we're leaving too much meat on the bone for them to make fun of us. See? The question is, would you marry a man or a woman? I have no idea what's a man and what's a woman. You're going to define it unless they tell me otherwise. See, once they tell me, I can answer. I can't answer anything until I'm told. That's the reason why when I go to court, I ask them. You know, when I go to the tax court with the IRS, when I get there, does this court have jurisdiction? Yes. Great. It's an IRS court. No, we're a tax court. Are you an IRS court? No, then you ain't got jurisdiction. Kiss my ass. See ya. I'm leaving. I'm walking out of Dodge. Do you see the problem we have? We don't understand what they're saying. So we have to interpret what they're saying by making them tell us what they're saying. Does that make sense?
Of course. That's
okay.
why. That's what. Mm-hmm.
Do you want to make it? Do you want to change your? Do you want to change your story? If you get married, would you marry a male or a masculine or a feminine? If you want to change your story, what would you marry?
Well, would you like to define masculine, please?
Now you got it. Now it makes sense. See, you don't have to read the rest.
What do you mean?
There you go. See, but instead, now I tell them all the time. Do you have any kids? Yes, I do. I have 3 kids, one of each. And I just sit down, and they look at me. The looks that I get. What? Yes, sir. I have 3 kids, one of each. I just sit down. Mm-hmm. Why did I say that? Go ahead. Why did I say that?
Because they're asking you a question.
All right, but they're asking me, do you have kids? Yes, I got 3, one of each. Why would I say that? Because kids are goats. I got 1 Billy, 1 Nanny, and 1 to eat. I don't care. They didn't ask me. If they ask me a stupid question, I'm going to answer it. How do you have 3? Well, what do you mean, how do I have 3? I just do. How do you get 1 of each? Well, that's easy. Doesn't anybody know? See, they're going to make me define it. I have a Billy, a Nanny, and a 1 to eat. Yeah, we chew on that all the time. We have lamb chops, and we have, and I got a 2-hour discussion on how I eat goat. See, we got 1 to milk, 1 to eat. See, I'm just a nut job. That's why they don't want me in there. Does that make sense?
Of course, yes.
I hope it don't, because if it does, we're in big trouble. Thank you for that. Thank you for reading that. Does anybody else have a question that I can answer for them? Okay.
When you ask what species it is, and then what do they respond normally?
Okay, they won't. I don't say species. I say species. Now, if you would, let's look it up so we know what we're talking about. Right? SPECIE definition, Black's Law Dictionary. Let's see what it is so we know what we're asking. See? What I do is that when the judge comes in and says you're still guilty, you're going to pay the fine. Okay, no problem. I have a form that I made out and I hand it to the judge. Check the box, sign it so I can pay it on the way out. If you don't, then you admit that I don't have to pay. I give them that form. It's A or B. Which one I want? I sign the other one. Here, on the penalties of perjury, the dumbass judge doesn't want me to pay nothing because he won't tell me what species. And I hand it to him. Have a nice day. On the way out, I have it punched and I call it, and I'm gone. See, I can't make them do anything. Go ahead.
The judge responded to me. He said, U.S. dollars. I said, I don't have any. He goes, what do you mean you don't have any? I was like, those are notes. Which ones? I mean, what species? And I said species. I said species. Okay. I didn't say species.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
So I said, coin of the precious... Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Let's see what it says. That way you'll understand what it says.
So it says, coin of the precious metals of a certain weight and fineness. Okay, and bearing the stamp of the government, denoting its value as currency.
So see, currency is what? Precious metal with the stamp of the government that it represents. That's currency. See, he can't say currency. Okay, what currency? No problem. I'm going to go get pesos because pesos is currency. I'll go get some dinar. It's currency. I'll go get whatever I can get. So you said currency, here it is. This is Hispanic. This is Mexican currency. You didn't say what species. You said currency. Well, they lost that one a couple of times. So now they say U.S. currency. Wonderful. U.S. currency, that's a funny piece of junk there, bud, because there ain't none. See?
Mm-hmm.
Look up on my glossary page. I have currency defined. Currency is a medium of exchange, not notes. Well, guess what a Federal Reserve is? It's a Federal Reserve note. So he's telling me to pay it with currency, but not notes. I'm confused. Now I got another 1020 I can give the guy. Well, you're just digging a hole deeper for me because you're making me do something. So then I'm going to file a bar agreement. He's telling me to pay something that don't exist. When I ask him to do it, explain it, he wants to throw me in jail. This makes no sense. This is nuts. See? Now, I'm going to show you how this works.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you one more question. I'm going to throw you way under the bus if I can. Are you married?
Define married.
Okay. Do you have a partner, man or woman?
Man. Yes.
I didn't ask you that. Okay. So you have a man. That's okay. You have a man. Perfect. Do you have any children?
Yes.
Okay, now here's the question. Are you a virgin?
To whom?
See how simple that is? Because the word virgin is the first time. Have you ever driven a 747, flown it by yourself? Have you ever jumped out of a military airplane? Have you ever ridden an F-16? No. The first time you do it, see, you're a virgin to all that. See, I was trying to get your mind to think one way, so that and that's what they do to us. They ask you these questions to get your mind somewhere else. Then when they ask you the question, like, well, you got to settle. Well, okay, man, I want to settle in the worst way. Man, I'll take $500,000, make the check payable to, and I spell it for them. You can put it in all caps if you want. I don't care. What? Yeah, I'm settling with you right now. You give me the cash. No, that ain't what we're talking about. Oh, then what are we talking about? See, I'm going to make them define what they're talking about. Well, what section is that in? See, now all of a sudden, I've got them right where I want them. They're backing off me because they don't know how to go around it. Now, we're getting close to the time we need to quit. So before we quit here, call it a night. Does anybody else have a question? I want to give you a chance.
Hey, Kerry, this is Raj. I have a question regarding the letter that you sent to the tax court, the initial letter. The question is around the $60 filing fee. I've listened to some calls.
Hold on a minute. I did not send the letter around the $60. I sent a motion that they told me to do it. We want the people to understand it. You go online and you get their filing kit. It's actually a motion, but go ahead.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. So the motion, there's the filing fee for the motion. On some of the calls I've heard, if you pay it, then
not okay. But wait a minute, not in the last 2 years. Because let me tell you why. You pay the $60. Pay the $60, and the reason for it is you used to pay the $60, and they would come back and they'd say, "Well, we can't hear the case until you pay the $527,000 the IRS says you owe, and if you win your case, we'll make them give it back." So what I did was I said, "Well, that sucks. We didn't pay it. We got everything we wanted." Now they're missing out on all these $60, so you pay the $60 because now they're going to hear your case on the merit. They did that to themselves. I didn't do that. All I was able to do was understand why they did it. Pay the $60, okay?
Okay, so it has nothing to do with being on the administrative side versus the equity
Absolutely
side or
nothing. It has nothing to do with it. Nothing. It has to do with the court tells you to do it. I do it. Now, I said, the first one that I did, they said this case is dismissed on the grounds you owe $527,000, so we can't hear the case. So I couldn't figure it out. I didn't pay the $60 and refiled, and they gave me what I wanted. I said, okay, that's what they're saying. See, once you pay it to them, they can now hear the case, and they're going to ask the commissioner, did you send them a notice of a statutory notice of deficiency, a statutory notice of determination? The DOJ is going to tell them no, they didn't. And the reason they're going to say that is if they don't, they're perjuring themselves. Because see, you can put in your thing, well, we gave you one. No, you didn't. That's statutory. That's perjury, bud. Your Honor, I want this dismissed on the grounds the DOJ perjured themselves. And also put a $5,000 sanction on them, had the check made out to me. See, I'm just an asshole that way. I can't help myself. That's what I do all the time. See, I'm just fortunate that I can look at what they're saying and I can read the raw material. And the other thing is I don't get emotionally involved in it. I do not get emotionally involved in it in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
My pleasure. It's my pleasure. Okay, does anybody have any questions?
Carrie, one more. I told the judge last time that what species, and he said U.S. dollars. And I said, okay, how much? And he didn't tell me the amount.
Right, that's right. He won't. But
he didn't.
That's good. The better question would have been, where do I get some?
Where do I get some? Because it doesn't exist, right?
There you go. There you go. I had a judge tell me that we want U.S. dollars, U.S. currency. And I said, okay, hold on, I'm confused. Will you take currency that I can buy land and houses with? He said, absolutely. Thank you. Can I have 2 weeks to pay? And he said, yes. I came back in 2 weeks. I took Boardwalk, the Monopoly game. That's a piece of property. I took the greenhouse, taped it on there, and I took the $500 and put it on there and told him, keep the change. And he stood there, and I've never heard such language come from the bench. I said, oh, by the way, here's your transcript of the thing saying you'll take what I can buy property and houses with. Off a house, that's property.
There's something else. Yeah.
No. See, it makes perfect sense to me. If they can't do it, that's what I'm going to ask for. See?
That's right. So I said at the end, he said, I'm going to give it in favor of because they had a lawyer, of course. I'm going to rule in favor of the plaintiff, right? And I said, objection. Right. But I didn't say strike it from the record. I forgot to say that. So
and that's okay. So now what you're going to do is if you want to, you can send the judge a form that I made up with. The form has got a really unique what do you call it? A definition.
I have it ready.
So
I have it ready.
Right, so,
it says verdict. Okay. It says verdict though. Is that okay?
Okay. Of course. So
okay.
then what you do is you make it a verdict interrogatory form. See, This is an interrogatory form for the verdict. The verdict says I was guilty. I had to pay $922.25. If the judge refuses to answer what he said, U.S. currency, U.S. whatever he said, I went to the bank and they gave me Federal Reserve notes. See, put it in your cover letter. I went to the grocery store and used my ATM card and they gave me Federal Reserve notes. That's on the list. He didn't check it, so I assume that's not what he wants. I'm a dumbass. I'm as ignorant as a bag of hammers. I can't help myself. If he doesn't tell me, then he accepts it. Then I do a fault. Then I do a default. And on every letter, I tell him, if you don't answer me, you agree that silence. Acquiescence of silence basically says if they by law have to answer you and they don't, then they're hiding something. See, and I put it in there. Then I do a fault. Then I do a default. I file the default in the county or the state or whatever, the city. I get it stamped and then I mail it into the payroll and say, here's my payment. I can't pay what I don't know how to do. I don't know. I'm not required to know. Okay, I'm not required to know. And I put on the judge said this. He's required to know the law. I assume he wants what he said. I assume that. I went to the bank. I asked him for U.S. Dollars or U.S. currency. They gave me Federal Reserve notes. That was on the list. He did not check it. Therefore, that can't be it. I'm confused.
Yeah, because I didn't give him that. They didn't want to accept it. They did not want to accept your form.
Then you mail it to them. Of course, you got to understand something. We're using this everywhere. And so every time they check the box, like I said, I have a video of a guy that used it on his property taxes, and when he went into the meet with the property tax people, they're so stupid they let him video them, and he videoed the conversation. It's a 5-minute.
I saw it. I saw it.
Yeah. Okay, it's a 5-minute comedy routine. What did you think of it?
It was awesome. Actually, he ended the court, but sadly, I forgot to do that. I said, I object, and he ran out. He actually got out of the court before I walked out. And the rule of the court is the last man standing wins. I forgot, and I said, well, I object, and I object. And their lawyer was the last one standing because I left. The judge left. Then I left. I said objection, and then I left. He goes, well, you're going to have to deal with the District Court of Appeals if you object. And I said, well, I do object. And then
that's
I left.
Fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Good.
What you need to do now is go back and say, okay, I object. I'm going to appeal it, but before I appeal it, I need an answer so that I have something to appeal. See, now throw it back on them. You told me that I owed $422.35. You said U.S. currency. I went to the bank, asked for U.S. dollars, whatever he said. They gave me Federal Reserve notes. By the way, that's on the form. Why didn't you check it? So apparently you don't really want that. You're a effing liar. So fix it or it's paid. Your choice. Send it back to him. I gave you another chance. Do a fault, then a default. File the default and say it's paid. I can't see. Let me ask. Okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to pay me $500. Okay, if you don't give me $500, I'm going to beat your head in with a baseball bat. I'm going to throw you under the bus, and I'm going to take your house. What's
my dead body?
Oh, well, it's going to be dead, so it doesn't matter to me. So, what is your only answer you can give me?
What for?
Oh, what do I owe? 5 gallons. 5 gallons of what? See?
Exactly. 5 gallons. Yeah.
See? You owe me 5 gallons. Oh, good. I'll be glad to pay it. What 5 gallons of what? See? 5 gallons of heroin. Okay. Where do I get some of that? I don't use drugs. I don't even know where to get it. Judge, do I come to your house and get it? How much are you charging this month for cocaine here, bud, or heroin, whatever it is you want? See? I'm just an idiot. See, they're giving you what you want. We just have to understand what they're saying and use that against them. In my opinion, I don't give legal advice. So, does that help anybody?
Of course. The clerk, she asked me, well, what is the 437.00? I was like, I don't know. That's what y'all said that I owed. She goes, no, we can't take that. We can't take that. I'm like, what? I need to know. And she went back there and she asked the judge, she asked the district clerk, and she came back. She goes, no, we can't accept this form. I said, okay, well then I guess I'm
okay. The only mistake that you made is when they got it walked in the back, you should have walked out, and then write an affidavit that you when you had it to her. You should have walked out and then wrote an affidavit, and then filed the affidavit upstairs on this date, such and such, on or about this day. Virginia behind the thing, whatever. The court clerk took my 1020 form, my whatever form, and walked off with it, and they haven't told me yet. And then go back and file that in there. See, whatever that takes. And if they won't let you file it, let me give you another secret that I'm doing now. Because when I walk in there, they nut up and close doors and lock them on me. I go to the 5th floor and I record it. That's where in other words, if you had you had a beagle that was 100% beagle, you can record it. Let's say you had a Da Vinci or whatever it is painting, you would record it so that if somebody saw it, you would have proof that you had it. You would go up there with it. I go up there and I just record myself. Here, let me record this. I get the stamp. I get 5 or 6 of them stamped. They keep one. It's recorded. That's still in the courthouse. They'll record. They'll record dog poo. They don't care. They just want to see. So I'll go up there and I file. If I can't file it, I record it. Now I got their little red stamp on it. then I can mail it back to the judge. Here, I recorded this in the court. It's now a court document. If you don't answer it, I'm going to file a bar grievance on the grounds. I'm trying my best to do what you said. I'm trying to obey your own lips. I'm trying to obey what you said, and you refuse to tell me. Have a nice day, you dumb prick, and go from there. Does that make sense?
Okay. Of course, yes. Thank you.
Okay, now I'm going to say this one more time. I don't give legal advice, so do not take this as legal advice because I don't give it.
Correct. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. That was my pleasure.
Can I ask you to clarify, please?
Yes, you can.
Hi, I'm Tom. I wanted to clarify that you said currency that can buy a house, currency that can buy a car, and then it broke up a little bit.
No. I said you'll take currency that I can buy a house and currency I can buy land. He said,
yes. Land. I'm sorry.
I took Boardwalk in there and gave it to him, and I put the red $500 and told him to keep the change. There's a greenhouse, and there's Boardwalk. Have a nice day, or whatever it was I took him. I don't remember.
So you said you took a groom. I'm missing something there. I'm not following.
Okay, say that again. Okay, have you ever played Monopoly?
Oh, okay, yes.
Okay, when you move it down there, it says, it'll say Boardwalk. That's a piece of property, is it not?
Oh, I see what you're referring to. You're referring to, okay, I got it. I missed that.
I asked him, okay, I said to him, can I pay this with what I can buy property with? Yes. Oh, how about houses? Yes. I took him the greenhouse, I taped it to the Boardwalk or whatever it was, and I put a $500 bill on it, put it in an envelope, sealed the envelope, said keep the change.
Okay. Thank you very much. Got it.
My pleasure.
I just missed the connection there. Thank you.
No problem.
You have a great evening. A super call. Thank you so much.
Sometimes I have a hard time communicating, so it's probably not your fault.
Fantastic. I appreciate it. You have a great evening. I appreciate the call. It was amazing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Does anybody else have a question? Ed, I don't know how much longer you're going to keep us going. Did we lose everybody? Hello, Ed.
We're still here.
Oh, okay.
We're here.
Okay. Does anybody else have a question? Because we've been on here an hour and 26 minutes. I'm now into your guys' time, and I don't want to waste anybody's time. So, does anybody have a question that I can try to answer? Like I said, I don't have all the answers. I just have it a weird way, my way, that I do stuff that seems to be working.
Carrie, this is Raj again. So I've been communicating with both you and Ed via email. I know you've got your grandkids over there, but I'm wondering, would it be possible for you when you get some time? I'd love to talk to you one-on-one about my particular situation. So whenever you get a chance, if you could get a hold of me, I did send you my phone number.
Okay. Did you email it to Ed so he can get it to me?
Yes, I did get the email, the phone number to both Ed and to you.
Okay, then if that's the case, I'll do my best to call you. It probably won't be tomorrow because after this call, I get a lot of emails the next day, but I'll do my best to call you tomorrow. If not, I'll call you on Thursday for sure.
Whenever you have time, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you, Raj. I appreciate the call.
Thank you so much. This is very helpful information as usual.
Well, thank you. Okay, does anybody else have anything they want to say or not say, talk about or not talk about? Okay, by your guys' silence, I assume you're tired of hearing from me. So, Ed, it's time to call. I guess it's time to shut her down.